Tune in to the Mack Man Morning Show.
Hold up. Man, this is one of the hottest talk radio shows this side of the Mississippi. We're talking about the Mack Man Morning Show, Mondays through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Man, get you some on WKRA 92.7 FM. Man, beat me there. Don't meet me there. Ain't nothing wrong with getting your bunny on with Mack Man Morning Show very own Mr. Lee.
When I was a kid, Mama looked at you before you got in the stove. She looked, I don't want to. You don't put your hands on. You don't ask for shit. We ain't eating. We wait till we get home. But kids now, it's like, look, you know what you do to school, you know? He got a note saying that he's allergic to peanut butter, he's allergic to jelly, he's allergic to bread, he got gluten free, he gave me this, he gave me this, and then he got a note saying he got DDT, ADT, or ribbon, or whatever. He can just stand on tables, he can do whatever he's going to do. What kind of is that?
It's the Mack Man Morning Show. 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 Sitting at home when you're in your car. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. No matter if you get far. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. You better tune in quick or you might just miss. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. The best show this side of the sea. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. 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 It's the Mack Man Morning Show.
And good, wonderful morning to you all. Good, wonderful morning to you all. Great rising, great Monday to all of you on this wonderful, wonderful start to the week. This an historic week coming. We're about to tread on some ground that it has been treaded on, but right now it's really shaking and it's going to be treaded upon. Listen, good morning to all of you all. This is WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. Yes, we are back. We had a decent weekend. I wanted to say hello to everyone. I was really, really busy this weekend with the Diane Black for Congress group led by a wonderful coordinator. I have not seen anything like this in God knows how long in political getting out the vote efforts in a long time since my Chicago days. So organized, people were there. We're going to talk about that today. One more day, folks. We got one more day to go with this election. And we've been talking about it, talking till we're hoarse and just this thing. But I'm excited, though. I'm excited. I'm full of vigor and vitality. I'm grateful for the cup of coffee that I have today. I got a funny something I want to tell y'all. I should have got me this thing this morning. No, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to talk to the marketing people that own that particular product that I want to talk about before I say anything. I'm going to talk to them first and see if we can talk about this. It's something it was a joke I wanted to say. Good morning to each and every one of you that are listening on WKRA We'd like to say good morning to all of you, to Alice, our moderators, and to all of you, all to Sharon, Reed, everybody's here. Good morning to all of you. Excuse me, pardon me. Like to say good morning to our chief correspondent. I said what I said. She's here this morning, been here. Glad that she's back at work. Good morning to you, ma'am. How are you?
Well, good morning, James. Good morning,
All
everybody.
right. Good morning. All right. Brother Lee's on his way. Y'all know he got to get himself together and he'll be on his way. Listen, I'm going to do the forecast real quick and get this out of the way. Um, because there's some important things I want to say about the forecast and about tomorrow's outlook. Right now, folks, it's mostly cloudy and it's real breezy outside. I mean, the winds are they are picking up. They're saying that we're going to hopefully more than likely be near 80 today, but the south winds are picking up at about 30 miles an hour, and it is kind of windy outside. Some of those old branches on trees are falling. Um, a cold front will be coming in on Tuesday. Will right about bring probably some afternoon showers and more than likely some thunderstorms. Now, for those of you that are in the region, this is why I wanted to point this out to you, that if you have to sit in your car or what have you, or you have to get a umbrella, but I'm not asking you to put yourself in imminent danger of any kind. Please vote. Don't don't turn around. Don't go away. Stay in your car. You see somebody outside, or get somebody to stand in line or something, or maybe somebody got a pop-up tent that they can hold people numbers that are in line. Be creative at the voting booth. Make those suggestions to those election judges. Give people numbers that they can come in. If you're in your car, we'll call your number out. Be creative about those things, especially in the state of Mississippi. When we have bad weather, lightning and stuff like that, folks don't like to come out or anything. And I'm not saying come out in any kind of bad weather, but get to the polls as quick as you can. If you can, early morning, do so. If you can, at noon, get there. Expect the lines to be long. There will be some complications because in these rural areas, people are not equipped, but I'm not saying that they are not. I'm saying that the influx on the presidential campaign and election that's going on is always heavy voter turnout. So we're wishing all of you well on tomorrow. We'll talk more about the forecast on tomorrow morning. We're going to be starting early on tomorrow morning. I'm going to get to that in a couple of seconds. But right now, we're at 67 in Oxford. We're at 65 at South Haven and Olive Branch, and it's 67 at WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. Surrounding areas, including Shelby County and Greater Memphis, but we're headquartered in Holly Springs, Mississippi. We'd like to say good morning to WKRA and all those that are here this morning with us, our wonderful staff over at the forgive me. I'm going to shift gears in just a little bit here. I got some things I want to talk about this morning. We like to say good morning to everyone, but before we go any further, we have regretfully, I have I heard this early this morning, and I wanted to bring this out because this gentleman has been a part of music period from my mother's time and father's time, probably my grandparents a little bit though. But Quincy Jones passed away on the 3rd of November, which was yesterday. He passed away. Great. You can't describe a personality. You can't describe a creative artist, someone with that kind of talent that Quincy Jones had, that he spread amongst movies and television and recording history. We Are the World, Thriller, all of Michael Jackson's hits that he made, Man in the Mirror, all kinds of things. He worked with the great late Sarah Vaughan. And ooh, if you heard her voice, sometimes you got to Google some things and use YouTube. Sarah Vaughan songs, and he wrote for Frank Sinatra. Put him on. Frank was so smooth back in the day because Quincy was doing this thing as a kid. He was doing this thing as a young person when he met up with Ray Charles. And when him and Ray Charles met up together, it was just simply magic. We got a video that we just like to play right quick in honor of this wonderful gentleman. And we'll talk about it on the other side. You're listening to WKRA 92.7 FM.
Quincy Jones was born in Chicago in 1933 and was considered to be one of the greatest minds in music and television history. He found his love for music while enrolled in high school, where he met his friend and collaborator Ray Charles.
Ray was like, wow, he was like God to me.
In the 1950s, Jones followed his passion, working as a trumpeter and conductor for Lionel Hampton's band. I get misty. And would go on to work with jazz greats, including Sarah Vaughan. In 1978, Q, as he was called by friends, produced the soundtrack for The Wiz, where he met entertainment legend Michael Jackson. Jones decided to offer him a chance to record a song he was saving for Frank Sinatra, She's Out of My Life. She's out of my life. Their partnership led to Jackson's blockbuster Thriller album, which sold more than 100 million records worldwide. He was also the man behind the all-star charity single, We Are the World. Jones became the most Grammy-nominated artist ever, with 79 nods and 27 wins. He also produced the film The Color Purple.
When I first met her, I said her future was so bright it hurts my eyes.
Quincy Jones will be remembered as a legendary music producer, record company executive, and humanitarian whose contributions touch nearly every sector of the entertainment industry.
Love, laugh, live, and give. That's what it's about.
Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington, D.C.
Ike, thank you. Jones' publicist says he died at his home in Los Angeles, surrounded by family. He was 91.
And we'd like to thank ABC News for allowing us and sharing with us that touching report. And not sounding doom and gloom, this man has left a tremendous legacy. Music lovers, music producers, singers of any kind that had their opportunity to work with this man found out that anything that he touched musically, even though he had to really go through some things in his later life, turned to gold. And you can't, there's nobody musically that I know of producer wise, that tremendous scores that he wrote, the Color Purple score for the In the Heat of the Night. In the heat of the night. Y'all know y'all still watch that. I didn't mean to sing or nothing like that though, but that was his song. He produced that whole soundtrack for In the Heat of the Night featuring Sidney Poitier. And it was just really smart. And then when he worked with every artist from Dinah Washington, all these people, he had a jazz element to him. He was a trumpet player, and he was wanting to travel with Lionel Hampton, and Lionel liked him so much it was good. But then Lionel Hampton later, his wife, told him he was too young to go on the road. But this young man, when he was a young man, was something as a young man, and just to see the tremendous impact that he has had on music and on music history. I said what I said is really tremendous. Do you have any thoughts on Brother Quincy Jones's departure and transition from this life to a new one?
Yes, you're absolutely right. He was very instrumental in the music world. He also did the theme for Sanford and Son, that jazzy music that Fred Sanford had on his introduction. And I always
He sure did, folks. He sure.
that was some
I'm
bad
sorry, I
jazz.
had to let Yeah, I had to laugh at that one, boy. That was some music, though. I mean, you know that when you hear doom, 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 you know what it is. It's just like Shaft and anything else. Go ahead, I said. I'm sorry. You started that now. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. I actually had that as a ringtone one time. I've been looking for it again because when my phone ring, I heard that Fred Sanford theme, and it just take you back to that sitcom. But yeah, he put Michael Jackson on the map because Michael Jackson was just with his brothers and they were doing okay. But when he ventured off and wanted to be on his own, um, he was the one who helped Michael Jackson get made him the king of pop in so many words, just with that with two albums. The very first album that Michael came out with, and then that Thriller album. Quincy Jones really helped him a lot. He was very instrumental in that.
You're,
And
you're you're talking about off. You're talking about off the wall when he did
Off the
off the
Wall, yeah,
wall.
yeah. I
Off the
couldn't think
wall
of
and
it.
Thriller was yeah, yeah. That back
Yo,
in your day too. Don't be acting like you ain't had no record collection or nothing. I
well,
had
I
record. It was
enjoyed
on vinyl. Vinyl. When you got Thriller, and I didn't have one of them red jackets or nothing like that though. But I
right.
had my brother had one. I didn't like the color red. I didn't like that. Everybody had one of them old jackets, and it was Easter Sunday, and the kids were coming hot as it was wearing Michael Jackson zipper jackets. And I know he made a whole lot of money, but Quincy Jones, I said what I said. Brother Lee is here. I told y'all he was here. He wasn't in the bushes. He was just sitting there sipping his tea or
Oh,
something. I'm gonna tell y'all, I got something for you to sip your tea, Brother Lee. And sister, I said what I said. See, I had to call you sister because you know I got something up my sleeve. Uh,
mhm.
but I mean, but I said what I said. But he made some real good cuts, and he was married to some famous people too. He had some couple of girlfriends and a wife that he had that we knew growing up. A lot of people don't know about Quincy's wife. Tell us a little bit about his wife if you got some information on her. The
Well,
one that we know of, you know, the beginning.
the the Caucasian wife or somebody another wife. I
Yeah,
only
you
know.
know the first one. Remember the first one with the first one I remember was the one that played on the Mod Squad. Remember her?
Yeah,
There was two gentlemen. They were kid. Well, you remember that? Well, whatever information you have on it, it's okay if you know anything. I didn't
yeah,
get the family.
yeah. I didn't get the
Mm,
family tree either because, like you, James, I just found out that he passed. But probably about 8:30 this morning
mhm.
because I was on YouTube last night and I was surfing through Google, but I never saw it. Maybe they announced it early this morning, but I didn't
Well,
see
they
anything
announced.
today.
Yeah, they did not announce it. It was the passing was on Sunday. The announcement was made and released this morning, sometime earlier this morning. So I don't know
Okay.
whether he passed in the night or what. But for those of you that that know that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, Brother Lee, music. I mean, when you say Quincy Jones, and I know that you're a music connoisseur, you've had all kinds of music. We're talking about the passing of Brother Quincy Jones on yesterday, but we got the announcement today. And what are your thoughts on Brother Quincy, Brother Lee?
Well, great day, everyone.
Great day,
I
sir.
would
Great day.
say very talented brother. I can say that. I can say he was very instrumental in a lot of musical ventures, such as movie soundtracks, TV soundtracks. His own his own album. Um, he's done a few of those collaborations with artists where he put together an album and he had artists perform, such as Barry White and DeBarge, and some others had performed on his. I think that was a platinum album that that album that he had. I think that was the last really successful album. But
Mhm.
they've done no movies about him. But he was
Yeah.
portrayed in a movie, Ray Charles movie. He was portrayed as Ray Charles's best friend.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they
So
were. Well, they say that they were friends, and
yeah,
No question
in
about it. I don't.
some way. In some way,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
question. No. They said that they were good friends, and I'm sure when you're in the show business, you have a lot of people that you meet and you become your friends. So
yeah,
he has, So yeah, he's a very talented brother, and I say
yeah,
is, and I don't say he,
yeah.
he's still around, but in another capacity. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but
Peggy Lipton
yeah.
is. Yeah, Peggy Lipton was. Yeah, you're talking about. Yeah, that was. It was his third. She was his third wife. Have mercy. Okay, Brother Quincy. Listen, you're listening to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mac Man Morning Show. I am James Mack. I am your host. We're going to be going right now to our first commercial break, and we will be back after these announcements.
Baghdad is far from the Mississippi Delta, but I've lived in both. I'm Ty Pinkins, born and raised in the Delta. I served 21 years in the Army, including 3 combat tours. As a lawyer, I stood up for Mississippi families being wrongly evicted in the middle of winter, and for workers who were cheated out of their pay by big businesses, and I won. Now I'm running to represent Mississippi in the U.S. Senate. As your senator, I will fight for better paying jobs, including increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, affordable health care, and equality education for our children. On November 5th, I'd be honored to have your vote, because your voice matters. Paid for by Ty Pinkins for Congress. Baghdad is far from
If
the...
you like your election coverage unfiltered, unbiased, unaltered, straight with no chaser, then tune into the Mac Man Morning Show and the entire WKRA 92.7 FM staff as we bring to you Election 2024, covering every possible angle, up to the second updates, commentary from on-air personalities, and the candidates themselves will speak out loud. Not only will we cover the presidential elections, but local Senate and state rep races too. So come on in, grab a seat, make us WKRA 92.7 FM your home for election news you can use.
If your locks ain't right and your twist is on limp, you know. Get over to Keisha Studio. Specialized in locks, natural hair, and extensions. When your hair needs that special attention, make Keisha Studios your next decision. Located 3964 Goodman Road E, Suite 122 in South Haven, Mississippi. Call 901-650-9487 for your appointment at Keisha Studios. You know.
Members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch. Yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay, y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in '08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress, cause they the ones make child support laws. They the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault, cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president.
America, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back.
I don't know about you, but I'm not going back. If you're not going back, vote Diane Black. Again, if you're not going back, vote Diane Black for U.S. Representative, 1st Congressional District of Mississippi.
November 5th, 2024. Vote Diane Black.
Paid for by Friends of Diane Black.
And we're back on WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. I'm James Mack. I am your host. I'm here with our wonderful panel as we venture off, and we have less than a day. Well, yeah, it's about 39 hours to go before we all of America head officially to the polls. We want to thank, first of all, I was out yesterday and I got some video footage. I could not get my remote situated, but on this past weekend, I was with a wonderful group of people that was getting out to vote on behalf of Diane Black. And this person is so effective in what they were doing. And I was just so impressed by the leadership that Brenda Anderson showed. And I want to show you a couple of pictures of what happened on the campaign trail. She had about 60 or more. It looks like it was. I didn't get an official count of it, but she was out there and she had her crew out there, and they met up. This was early that morning. The Mac Man was up early on Saturday, Jesus. And Ms. Anderson had her crew out there. And as you see, they're ready. They're prepared. You see that woman power and manpower was around. We want to thank the brothers that were there to watch over the sisters. We know that some of them had to work. They come from Living Word Ministries. Living Word Ministries is located in Walls, Mississippi, under the wonderful, capable leadership of Prophetess Brenda Anderson, doing a wonderful job. That's Miss Anderson. Those of you all that can't see on WKRA get the replay. You can get it, but those of you that are on YouTube, you can see her. She's the one with the mask. She was the coordinator of the ground operation for Diane Black. And you want to tell you see the children out there too. She got the babies were out there. They just wanted to campaign, and that's some of her people that she had. We were overloaded with she had sample ballots, she had print material, she had over 65 almost. Well, let me make sure I got that number right. I have it right here. I want to make sure that I have it right so that people won't say that I said the wrong thing. Okay, I got to make a correction. There was 60,000 pieces that were printed in total. And she distributed around 35,000 pieces of literature about the election and about the background and about the qualifications and the voter plea of Diane Black. She did a wonderful job, folks. I mean, we got to take our hats off to the the grassroots people. And we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going backward to anything. And I want to thank her for what she's doing. A lot of the members and a lot of her associates that work with her. Once again, let me show you who Brenda Anderson is. We're going to get her in here once everything cools down. Miss Brenda, we're going to get you in here, Pastor. We're going to get you in here, and we want you to to come on and tell us about your experiences. We probably get you on election day because she's still available to do things that she has to do. Has been working in DeSoto County and in North Mississippi for many, many, many years, working out of there. And I just wanted to salute. Uh, I wanted to salute Pastor Anderson and her group as they coordinate to get the vote out around the North Mississippi area. And I mean, they're working 2 days. They were out there. They were smiling. Wasn't nobody fighting. And yeah, everybody got taken care of. You know, when you take care of your business, people don't mind getting out and working with you. And I saw young people, 18, 21, going to be 18. They said, I'm going to vote for the first time this time. I'm going to vote for the first time. And this is a historic election, and we should not forget as we go along. We're not going to forget what we've been telling you all along. A change is coming, but we need to turn this page on this election that we have. And listen, I got a little something I want to tell y'all. I wasn't going to let the cat out the bag, but I'm going to let it out the bag. I have a dear friend of mine, Lady Valencia, who owns a wonderful establishment that you're going to be hearing about real soon. And she did something for me, and I'm going to let you all see this. And let me put this up right quick. Now, y'all see this now. This is the Mac Man Morning Show. And wouldn't it be nice if you had one of these wonderful, wonderful coffee mugs? Now, I'm not saying that I ain't trying to hustle and give you something. I ain't got no miracles or nothing. I ain't got none of that. I just want to know if you like to have a piece of the Mac Man Morning Show in the morning, or let your relative, that mother that you love, that person that you care about, or even take it home and or take it to the office and let them say, who is the Mac Man? Oh, I wish you want me to tell you who. So we're getting together with Miss Valencia and her corporation and her business, and you're going to hear more about this. If you like the mug, say put a one, or some say yeah or something, but if you want one, we're going to make a way for you to get that. That's just part of it. I thought that was so unique and nice. I'm drinking out of it right now. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful to have your coffee, and it keeps your beverages cold and so forth, you know what I mean. So I just wanted to throw that out there to everybody. Okay, Brother Lee's, I said what I said. We have less than 24. We got about 38 hours, 37 or something like that to go. I'd like to say good morning to Dr. J. Made it. He got his lawn chair. He's in the bushes, but no, he ain't. He's out. He's right there. And I'd like to say hi to all of to Penelope. She's around here somewhere. Our other moderator. Thank our moderators for doing what they do, and everybody that's involved with the Mac Man Morning Show. I may sound a little hoarse because I was in church and the Spirit moved me, and I hollered, and I clown when I go to church. That's just something personal that I can't go to the dead church where it's just creepy and dead and things. So I got in church and I almost lost my voice. And that's all right. It's good to lose it there. We're going to look at another video that I have. I said what I said, and Brother Lee, that concerned me. And I want to thank I Said What I Said for bringing this to the Mac Man Morning Show. She does great research. And I want to bring this right quick up, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Is it weird for you to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris?
Well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually. Look, she's a deranged person. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it.
Okay, I didn't want that one. That was terrible. I'm not giving him any credence. And hopefully on tomorrow, we won't have to worry about that because the people would have spoken. I'm trying to find this is what I wanted right here. Stand by. We're going to talk about it on the other side. This is WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. Mac Man Morning Show. Stand by, folks.
This campaign isn't only about who will occupy the White House, but also control of Congress. CBS's Scott McFarland is here to break down that part of the story for us. Scott?
Another cliffhanger. The next president will need a Senate to confirm his or her cabinet and potential Supreme Court nominations and help get all those promised policies passed. The final days of the race for control of the narrowly divided U.S. House has shifted heavily to New York. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson rallied through 3 competitive districts there, trying to salvage Republicans' narrow majority and 3 of his embattled first-term New York Republicans. Tomorrow, the House Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is expected to make a last-minute push through a district for a 2-term Democrat trying to preserve a seat near West Point. The playing field is so small, our CBS News review shows roughly 30 battleground districts in the U.S. House nationwide. That's fewer than 10% of all races. And you can see a group of potentially vulnerable Republicans in California and 3 competitive races in Pennsylvania. In the race for control of the Senate, Democrats can lose a net of just 1, maybe 2 seats and risk losing their narrow majority, helping or handcuffing a future President Harris or future President Trump. And those blue wall battleground states have tens of millions of dollars in spending for Senate races too: Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
All very important states. A lot of moving parts. Thank you, Scott. Watch CBS News on election night for real-time results, analysis, and exclusive polling. Coverage begins.
No, we don't want you to watch them. We want you to stay tuned to the Mac Man Morning Show channel and WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial for all of the latest election news, anchored by me, James Mack, and by Raven Autry, WKRA's president and CEO. We will be leading the broadcast all day. Tomorrow, the Mac Man Morning Show is going to start a little bit early, I think around 8 o'clock. So we're going to start an extra hour early, and we're going to go right into our day and our beginning of our broadcast day. We have some special events that are going to be happening. Also with WKRA, we're going to be working in concert. It's going to be a full day of broadcasting. It's going to be a full day of reports, and we're going to be getting reports from all of our correspondents everywhere, and we might have some surprises. You never know. That tape played, and I want to say this, Brother Lee and Sister, I said what I said. I wanted to say it like this, that this we need a Congress, and everybody always say, well, we need the president. Yeah, we need a president. A president can't do anything in office unless they have a majority, that a working majority in the Congress. Now, the balance of power, as people would say, is they know that the Congress holds the purse. That means any spending, anything that's going on, or whatever the case may be. And they have an electoral college. Let's talk about that just for a second before I bring our panel to us, if I can. This is the electoral college map. Now, this map is the number that's needed. You see it's 270. For those of you that are looking on the screen, it's on your right. It says 270 to win. And in various spots, you can see that there are places that have numbers by them in each state. That's the number of electoral college votes that each state holds. California has 54. Texas has 40. Let's see what over here. New York State has 29. Who else has the next largest? We're looking around here. Florida has 30. Illinois, my home state, has 19. Mississippi has 6. Alabama has 9. Arkansas has 6. Tennessee has 11. So you got to add it all up, and you have to be able to get 270 electoral college votes in order to win the presidency, according to the electoral college and that situation. What is the electoral college? I'm glad that you asked. And I'm reading from a graphic for those of you that are on WKRA. I know that you can't see me, but I know you're going to get the replay. And for those of you that are viewing, like and subscribe to our channel. We got great things coming down the line. The definition of the electoral college, and I'm going to give this real brief. I might just preamp some of it, but I can get through it. It says, in the United States or the U.S. elections, voters do not vote directly for the president, but for the members of the electoral college who are then expected to vote directly for the president based on vote numbers. In the event, like I said, if a state's majority vote goes to the vice president, that electoral college certifies that in essence, this is the winner of our state's votes, and we certify it, and they send it to the Congress, and it is certified by the House of Representatives and the Senate, the full Congress. That's January the 6th. Always is. That's the Constitution. Y'all know what happened last January 6th, for some years ago. They clown. All right, more of it. A president is decided not by whom has won the most votes. Let me make this clear. You got to vote. Don't worry about it. Get out there and vote. But let's talk about how this electoral college works and why every vote is important. It says it's not decided by who won the most votes from the voters, but I'm talking about overall. You got to win key states. It's known as the popular vote. It says, but by those who receive the most votes from the electoral college. You got to win these big states in order to become president of the United States. Pennsylvania's 19, Minnesota's 15, Wisconsin's 10, and Arizona has 11. These are the battleground states, along with the narrow battleground states that might turn blue, possibly Georgia and North Carolina. They might be in the blue column, as they might be saying. The strong showing of votes that have been cast already is 70 million. Early voting, absentee voting, ballots and things is 70 million right now. That's a lot of people. Why are you saying this right now? It is important that you not only vote for the president, which we know that you will, but please, down ballot, vote for the selection of your choice. And like I said, they were out with the Get Out the Vote campaign this weekend, and it was a heavy event. It was a little rainy, but they did their job. And we're going to show some video on tomorrow while we have our election day, while we're in between. We can show some of the events of Miss Brenda Anderson and her group, what they've done. But I'd like to ask you all, how do you feel right now? I said what I said, and Brother Lee, about the election that we're going through. How do you feel about the energy? Is there energy? How do you feel about the things that are going on? Because I didn't talk too much already now.
Yeah. Well, I feel pretty good about it, James. I'm a little nervous, as a Democrat would be. You know, they always say that we're nervous. And so, just a tad part of me is nervous. But the energy is really, the wind sail is really with Harris at this point. And this last week was a terrible week for Trump. He didn't try to close his messages. It's like he got more unhinged and, basically was just saying anything that he wanted to say. And it had nothing to do with the election. Everything was still grievance, lies, and, just really low energy from him. You could tell that he's tired. And, he is too old to run, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say that, but he is. He's too old to do this job. He barely can be on the campaign trail. He looks tired.
You called him man. Why you called him man old?
Because he is old. I'm sorry, but he's old, and that's everybody's goal, is to get old. There's nothing wrong with being old. But I think he's just too old to do the job. And a lot of times when you're old and complacent, it's hard to change your mind. It's hard to compromise. And he's not that type of person anyway. Even if he was young, it would be hard to deal with him. But just think about him being the older man, being contentious and old and set in his ways. And you see that, the whole campaign, it's all been about grievance and what happened yesteryear. He's stuck in the past and he need to go, and we looking for the future. But I feel like Harris has a great chance. Now Iowa's in play, according to the polls. She's at 47 to 44 in Iowa because of the farmers. And so he has some work to do. And, we're running out of time. But I really feel like she probably, she's going to win because women are outvoting men by 10 points, as far as the ballots that have already been cast. They can't tell you who they voting for, but the women are really outpacing the men on this. And I knew the women were going to bring it home for us, because if the women don't vote, then we're going to be in what we call a handmaid's tale, and nobody is trying to go back to that.
Well, now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Now, I voted early. I voted every election. Thank God. I don't think I missed an election since I've been voting. And I think a lot of men are voting. Let me give, before I give Brother Lee this here, it was real interesting to see a forum. They had some young men on, even though they had some persuasions I didn't, some of them had that I didn't agree with. That's not my business. But they were saying that we got to cover, the women's rights are over. What happens, not just to women of other colors or anything, but folks in our community. Our parents did not have a chance. Thank God we came out all right, but our parents didn't have proper prenatal care or could go to the doctor as they wanted to. They had to wait for my mama had to wait for her green card. If y'all know what that is, y'all know what the green card is, put it in the chat. Y'all know what a green card is. Green card and actual food stamps, not a card. We couldn't slide none. We had a book, and it had a number of denominations and things like that. And yeah, I know that women, and it's going to take, and I look at it like this, Brother Lee, the sister coming to the rescue once again. I must give credit to where credit is due, that this lady has stood up. I'd like to hear your views, sir.
Is it weird for you to see?
Go ahead. I don't even want to play that. Let me get rid of that for good. Okay, I don't even want to play. Go ahead, Brother Lee. I'm sorry. Okay, is he there? Okay, I said what I said. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still with you.
Okay, bro. Well, we were waiting for. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I told you guys in the beginning that women were going to have to save this race. And so, it's not that I'm being funny or anything, but, we have to come and save the day. And in other words, we have to save ourselves, because we can't wait on old Caucasian white men to save us. They're the ones who's trying to take our rights as if they know what a woman goes through. And you have women that's, passing away because of these laws that they've passed. These laws are antiquated and outdated, and they're trying to take us back to where we didn't have any rights, and so we're not having that. We're just not gonna have it.
Yeah. I want to break the ice a little bit. You got a variety of things that you usually share. We're gonna break the ice a little bit, and I'm waiting for another piece of information to come in. But this was something that you shared with us for those of you, our young fans and people like that dig this kind of thing. And we're gonna let I said what I said talk about it on the other side.
I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids.
Yeah, you were just hearing that apology from Young Thug, a.k.a. Jeffrey Williams. That happened while he pled guilty in a nearly year-long YSL RICO trial here.
That's right. Among those big charges, Faith, gang activity, weapons, and drug charges. 11 Alive's Grace King was in the courtroom as this all unfolded. Grace, we know so many questions here. So what happens next in this trial?
Well, the trial will continue forward, but with a much smaller case and a much emptier courtroom because only 2 of the 6 defendants are still on trial. The judge released Jeffrey Williams, better known as Young Thug, on probation yesterday, so he's on his way home to Los Angeles. The 3 other defendants pleaded guilty this week in exchange for shorter prison sentences, so they're done with trial as well. That leaves just Diamante Kendrick, Shannon Stillwell, their teams, and the state in the courtroom. Former DeKalb County District Attorney Robert James says that's tough to explain to jurors who were sworn in a year ago today.
The judge will tell them to disregard, the fact that these other individuals aren't here. They're not concerning themselves with it, this, that, and the other. But jurors are human beings, and they're going to be curious and perhaps even a little bothered. And so yeah, you can do it, but you're not going to do it well.
All right. Well, Grace, we've seen a number of plea deals in this case that has unfolded. What are the chances that those 2 remaining defendants will take deals as well?
They've rejected the state's final offer, but it's possible if District Attorney Fani Willis lets them. Both of them had rejected those offers on Thursday, but Judge Whitaker encouraged them to talk to the DA and reconsider before court resumes on Monday.
Well, now the young gang, what they call them, the young gangster thug or what have you, the rapper. Wait a minute
Young
now, I'm just
Thug.
gonna be fair. Cause okay, yeah, and you know, brothers, young successful brothers, be careful of the traps that are being set for your life. That's what I have to say on that. I said what I said. We'll comment on our presentation we just had.
Yes, James. This trial was way too long. I believe it went about 600 days. And the whole time throughout the whole trial, they never really placed this guy anywhere. They talked about all the gang activity that he used to be affiliated with. They talked about things that happened in the past, but they never put him in the hot seat. They never had any evidence against him. I don't understand. Well, I do understand. He's been in jail for 600 days. Georgia do have the worst jail, one of the worst jails in America. And it is kind of dangerous to be there because a lot of people have been unalived in that jail. However, this case was very weak. The DA that put the case on, she was very incompetent. They had to change judges. It's been like one of the longest trials in Georgia's history, and the evidence just wasn't adding up. He's going to be on probation for 15 years, meaning those people are going to be in his life for a decade and a half. So I don't know if I would have took that deal personally. Even though I was in jail, I still would have made them go to court and make them prove that, because I really feel like he wasn't going to be, I don't think he was going to be found guilty based on the evidence that they had or the lack of evidence that they didn't have. And so everybody, like they said, about 3 or 4 of them took a plea deal, which I think was, crazy. I wouldn't have done it. If you've been in jail all this time, you may as well, stay a few more days and see this trial through. Because
Well, the man wanted to get him something. He wanted to get him some groceries and stuff. He's sick of eating all that. He goes, man, now, did they put him? Well, let me say. Okay, well, let me say this right quick. You're listening to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. I'm James Mack. I'm your host. I'm here with our panel. I said what I said, our chief correspondent and our chief contributor, Brother Lee. We got to take our last commercial break for our show today. And I got just a couple things that I wanted to say. After I say what I said, comes back with finishing about the young hoodlum, what they call him, the young who? What they call him?
His name is Young Thug.
Young Thug, the Young Thug. We're going to talk about, we want her to finish because she got something she want to say. You listen to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial.
If you like your election coverage unfiltered, unbiased, unaltered, straight with no chaser, then tune into the Mack Man Morning Show and the entire WKRA 92.7 FM staff as we bring to you Election 2024, covering every possible angle, up to the second updates, commentary from on-air personalities, and the candidates themselves will
Running to represent Mississippi in the U.S. Senate. As your
we cover the presidential elections, but local Senate and state rep races too. So come on in, grab a seat, make us WKRA 92.7 FM your home for election news you can use.
including increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, affordable health care, and equality education for our children. On November 5th, I'd be honored to have your vote because your voice matters. Paid for by Ty Pinkins for Congress. Baghdad is far from the Mississippi Delta, but I've lived in both. I'm Ty Pinkins, born and raised in the Delta. I served 21 years in the Army, including 3 combat tours. As a lawyer, I stood up for Mississippi families being wrongly evicted in the middle of winter and for workers who were cheated out of their pay by big businesses, and I won. Now I'm running to represent Mississippi in the U.S. Senate. As your senator, I will fight for better paying jobs, including increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, affordable health care, and equality education for our children. On November 5th, I'd be honored to have your vote because your voice matters. Paid for by Ty Pinkins for Congress. Baghdad.
If your locks ain't right and your twist is on limp, you know. Get over to Keisha Studio. Specialized in locks, natural hair, and extensions. When your hair needs that special attention, make Keisha Studios your next decision. Located 3964 Goodman Road E, Suite 122 in South Haven, Mississippi. Call 901-650-9487 for your appointment at Keisha Studios. You know.
Left, right, left, left, right, left. Your mama, your daddy, they vote. Your sister, your brother, they vote. Your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, they need to get out and vote. Your mama, your daddy, they vote. Your sister, your brother, they vote. Your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, they need to get out and vote.
This is a call to all Americans. On November 5th, 2024, you have a chance to be heard. Make your voice known. Vote. It's your turn.
And we're back on WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mack Morning Show. Good morning on this Monday. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do, I have gotten myself together. I know that tomorrow, Lord willing, we will be on the air. I got to get up extra early to make sure that all is well. We're going to be covering from all sides of this region and around the country with our chief correspondent and our chief contributor leading the way. Letting us know what's going on election day. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. The YSL trial, we were talking about that. Young people are concerned about what's going on. And I said what I said. You were saying that sometimes they were taking these pleas and things like that. What are they accusing these young men of doing?
Well, they're accusing them of a lot of gang activity, selling drugs. The main thing was somebody became unalived. and they're trying to put it on Young Thug when somebody was shot up, and so they're trying to say that Young Thug had something to do with it, although he wasn't in the vehicle with them. They tried to use his rap music. They said that he sung about it in his rap music. And so I just thought that was asinine too. And the judge actually allowed rap lyrics in the court, which is crazy because most rappers just sing about their life, or sometimes it's fiction. So I don't understand how you can use a song to incriminate somebody. And they wasn't even at the place or the time that you said that this person, became unalived. But once again, like I said, the case was very weak. I feel like even if they would have found him guilty with all the technicalities that they had, all the uh, all the crazy stuff that was going on with the trial, he could have got off on so many different ways because of the way that they presented this trial. The the prosecutor had to be reprimanded so many times because she was trying to keep evidence away from Young Thug's lawyer. And so you can't do that. You're supposed to, unveil all your discoveries so that they can know how to handle their portion of the trial. And so it was just so many missteps and mishaps. To whereas I feel like it would have been a hung jury, or he would have been found now guilty. Now these other two that's going to
Yes.
court, like that guy said, uh, the jury is going to want to know, why did everybody else take a plea deal, and why did you let them off? And like I said, they gave this guy 15 years of probation. I don't think I would want them people in my life for 15 years, because to me, that's still not freedom if you got to still answer to them.
Well, you heard it first here from our chief correspondent. I said what I said, told y'all about how the young uh, Thug is gotten out, 15 years of probation and all this other. So he just wanted to get out. I did it. He wanted to get back, but then he don't know they're going to be on him. One, because of who he is and his notoriety, but then another thing, because I believe of who he is and people that are in the penal system and dealing with probation and things like that, your life is going to be upside down. You can't, you might have to back that time up at any time. You got 15 years, but then you can do it. I think a person can do it. You got a mind to do what you have to do. You can make it somehow. Just make it. God will give you the determination to do so. Brother Lee, a young man, successful young man, doing what he does, and got money, got resources, but just got tripped up, as some people say. Do you have anything, Lee, any comment on this? Because, I mean, young men, just like the young men that reach out to you about going to school and everything, what can you say probably to a parent or somebody that's listening? And we even got some younger viewers that's out there that they can learn from this experience from this young man.
Well, I would say I don't like to use too many superlatives to describe a situation or an act, but this is an outrage. Um, for that brother to be condemned like that, to be sentenced in that way, and Sister said was saying that maybe he was tired of being in jail, and the thing is that when you are faced with a sentence, when you've been in jail, I don't know if Sister said has been incarcerated at any time in her life, but to be in a incarcerated
She a OG. We don't
No,
know now.
sir.
and to be
Let me
and
answer that for you, Lee. No, sir. I've
and
never been.
and to be isolated and caged up like an animal. The thing is, just like when you fill out you are sentenced, you under duress when you're faced with those circumstances. And when you under duress, when you're faced with you either gonna serve the rest of your life in prison and being incarcerated, or you can be out in 15, you can be out on probation for 15 years. That's under duress. And that should fall under that duress, because when you making a decision like that, and it takes you into a place in your life where you feel that you have very little choices and us people of color, black folks, have been faced with these circumstances more than not. And for us to, we say, well, maybe, the brother, no, to be faced under circumstances like that is under duress. You're making a decision under situations where you don't have a good choice and you may be innocent. And that brother shouldn't be sentenced for the fact that he's making music and you don't like it and someone's been coming on the live. I mean, come on, there was songs that's not rap songs that has rock music, acid rock, all kinds of music has lyrics about violence, and so we look at this violence, we look at it, we've been brainwashed. We look at our music, any kind of music or we produce as some kind of incitement to violence. And that's the thing. We have to give us the same open mindedness as we give the Caucasians. We don't give our own people those kind of considerations, and that's crazy to me for us not to look at that like that. So most of us have been incarcerated more over as far as our percentage wise, we're over 50, 60% incarcerated or been incarcerated at some time or another. We have been incarcerated and we have been innocent because we don't have proper representation. And then we don't get consideration when we are facing a judge. We say lock them up. Donald Trump is still out and he's been convicted. He's not been given any probation, anything else. He's just out. When have you seen somebody sentenced over all those convictions and they still allowed to be out? And he can leave the country whenever he wants to. He doesn't have an ankle bracelet on. This man has his own private jet, but he's not allowed to. He's not told to surrender his passport. Surrender your passport. He's not been given a parole officer. He's not been given any kind of person to monitor his whereabouts or his behavior. He's been allowed to say that you could put somebody out there and put some guns on them and 9 guns and point it at them and maybe unalive them. He can say these things. That's a
Yeah.
violation. I mean, of his well, the fact that he's been given the fact that he's been let out of incarceration, not even been incarcerated, and he doesn't have to put up any bail. This man has been
No.
convicted.
Yeah.
He's been convicted and he's not been given any bail. He's not been given any kind of like I said before, ankle bracelet, any kind of monitoring system, and he has a private jet, and he has funds. He's had money. He has millions of dollars to go anywhere he wants in the world. So we
And
looking
he's
at
had new
our
court cases also. Normally, when you're in trouble and you have some new court cases, they go ahead and lock you up because you don't got in trouble again. But go ahead and finish up, Lee.
yes, he's constantly getting in trouble. This man is inciting violence, but he doesn't go to court. He's been inciting violence. He says you should do this and people should do that, and I don't understand it. We have to look at us in a different light. That's what I have to say.
Wow, you're listening to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. I'm James Mack, your host. I'm here with our chief contributor, Brother Lee, and our chief correspondent. I said what I said, and it's just interesting how you look at things and see how people, their lives are just turned upside down by just, you got money, you got fame, you got everything, a poor kid, and then you got a nerve to come up to the court as I was listening, saying that, oh, my mother got 11 children and this and that, but you wouldn't think, okay, you got 11 children. How are you helping them? I'm sure you're trying to help he probably helping his young or whomever. I don't know whether he's the oldest or the youngest or whatever, but you're the breadwinner and nobody helped you. Nobody could, well, I guess because he held the bag, he could do what he wanted to. But it's just so tragic to see in light of Quincy Jones's passing young men and women, talented men and women, artists in their own right, getting in this kind of trouble. You didn't hear Quincy had some problems. A lot of people have problems and things that you have to deal with. He had medical problems and things like that, but nothing like this. Like I said, you're listening to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. We're wanting you to remind you all that tomorrow we're going to be on early. We'll be on an hour early on 8 a.m. I'll be up, and we're going to be doing some wonderful work preparing for our wonderful coverage on WKRA for the election. And there's something else that I was sent. I think our chief correspondent sent to me. Let me see if I got
Well,
this.
James, let me ask
It's
you
right here.
this:
Yes, ma'am.
would you have taken that deal, and with all the problems that was going on with your car, would you have taken that deal?
I gotta look and see what the man did now. I don't know. I mean, people do things, as Brother Lee said, people do things under duress and under pressure to a point where, you want to
You
get
know
out of
what?
there.
You know what? They
Didn't
Come
we do
allow.
that
on.
back in
You
the
know
old
what?
days?
Well, listen.
Yeah,
When you
I'm just-
You know what? In law enforcement of any kind, even attorney generals and everything, they're allowed to, when they're interrogating a, and when you're incarcerated and they're interrogating you, they're allowed to lie about
yeah,
evidence.
yeah,
They
they
can
are.
tell you they got 100 witnesses that saw you do something, and you know it's not you, and they're allowed to tell you anything.
Yeah,
But
I think we.
don't you guys
That in,
feel like
when
that's
you
like?
are hearing that information.
But what
When
I'm
you
Go
hear
saying
ahead.
is,
that, when you
guys, what I'm saying, guys, they've always done this to us. They've always made us confess to something that we haven't done, just so that they can get a case or send you down. Especially in the 50s and 60s, a lot of people wasn't even guilty, but they had to go up there and say I'm guilty just to stay out of jail. So
well,
that's what with it. I mean,
yeah,
I
You
well,
bring
understand what you guys are
you
saying.
bring out a good point. You bring out a good
but here's the
point.
thing. Here's the thing. Especially you say, especially in the 50s and 60s. Well, that means the jails has less of us in them now. If that only happened really
Oh
in the
no,
50s
it's
and
full.
60s, the jail, it's built full to capacity, and they're
Well, you
building
gotta.
more.
No, I'm not
And
saying
they're
that
building.
they
I'm
can't
just
pay.
saying. I'm saying they're building more prisons now, and they have more people in them now than they had in the 50s and the 60s. They got more convictions now than they've ever had since they've been building
Yeah,
prisons in these United States.
That's because they
So
have
yeah.
more technology, though. They have
no,
more
no,
tech.
no. It's not about technology. It's about society and how Caucasian society looks at us and how we don't have proper representation. It doesn't have nothing to do with if it was up to technology, they could find out that you weren't in the place that you said you weren't in. They got technology where cameras everywhere to say that was not you because I saw you come out of your house. So for you to say technology is the reason why convictions are higher, that's not true because they got more cameras everywhere to prove DNA, fingerprints, all of this that they didn't have in the 50s and the 60s. So for you to say technology has a lot to do with convictions, that's not true. Technology should be the reason why we're not in prison. We're not incarcerated. Tell me, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong about that. And I'm not saying technology is the reason why they have all these high convictions. They have all these high convictions because a lot of times, a lot of us doing stupid things. However, what I'm talking about is why confess to something that you may not be guilty of just to get out of jail? Because that's what they did back in the day. Okay, let's use Eggers for an example. That lady on her deathbed said that she was wrong and that that guy, that he didn't do anything to her. So I'm looking at
What
these type.
are you talking about Emmett Till
I mean Emmett Till.
or
I'm
yeah?
sorry.
Okay.
Emmett Till. Yeah, and thanks, James. But what I'm
But
saying
even if
is, a
even
lot of
if he,
times we didn't do anything, Lee, and they still put us in jail and made us
yeah,
confess that we did something, and that's what this looked like to me.
well, Well, if you faced with a rope and a lynching and everything, you're gonna admit to anything besides being unalived. So even though you think that we're not at facing those situations in this day and time, we are. When they get you, when they incarcerate you, and they got you in that little room, and they telling you all the things that they're gonna do to you, and you saying there's nobody gonna see you. Listen, they killed what's his name, Weinstein or whatever his name was. He was in the cell and he was on death watch and he still hung himself,
Epstein.
allegedly hung himself.
Epstein.
So Epstein, so they can kill, they can unalive you, and they say they had a death watch on you and they watch you hang yourself. Why would you hang yourself if you're a billionaire? That's insane. So if they want to unalive you, they can. So when they tell you that they can unalive you, and if you don't sign this paper, what you gonna do? You could take 15 years of probation, or you could be unalive when you get back in your cell. So that brother's gonna sign that paper. You don't know if he goes. It may not been like his life in prison. Maybe only lasted him another day before he unalived himself, allegedly suicide. So you don't know the circumstances what this brother was facing because we face
Wow.
with those circumstances every day in prison. And you know what? That's why when you're incarcerated, you still should be given the right to vote. You're not an animal. A chicken can't
Yeah.
vote. Okay, a duck
No.
can't vote. But a human being should still. Okay, you are taken away from society, but you shouldn't be taking away all your rights as a human being. That's
That's
insane.
right.
And people probably agree with the fact that you shouldn't be able to vote because you're incarcerated. No, as long as you are a citizen in these United States, whether you're incarcerated or not, you should be allowed to have some say in your future. And that's
All
where
right.
we follow the Caucasians right over the cliff if we had to. See, we
All
can't
right.
act like them because we're not them. I have to say that.
No, hold on a second. I'm just going to do a station ID standby,
Tune
folks.
in to the Mack Man Morning Show. Hold up. Man, this is one of the hottest talk radio shows this side of the Mississippi. We're talking about the Mack Man Morning Show. Mondays through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Man, get you some on WKRA 92.7 FM. Man, beat me there. Don't meet me there. If you like your election coverage unfiltered, unbiased, unaltered, straight with no chaser, then tune into the Mack Man Morning Show and the entire WKRA 92.7 FM staff as we bring to you Election 2024, covering every possible angle, up to the second updates, commentary from on-air personalities, and the candidates themselves will speak out loud. Not only will we cover the presidential elections, but local Senate and state rep races too. So come on in, grab a seat, make us WKRA 92.7 FM your home for election news you can use.
And we're back on WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. I'm James Mack. I am your host, and I have here with us our wonderful panel as we have each and every morning. We have our wonderful chief correspondent. I said what I said, back from vacation fresh. You see how she threw them curves in there on us and everything, and she gonna let you know, like, look, I mean, they shouldn't have did XYZ. Love the reports that you bring, and our chief contributor, Brother Lee, who's here, who gives his great insight on things. We were just discussing some things, but before we go back to certain subjects and wind down on our day, I wanted to remind everyone that the Mack Man Morning Show will be starting early at 8 o'clock. That's 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. We're going to be starting our broadcast day. We have several things in ahead. Our regular show will go forth, but we're going to have special guest people coming in and out. We're going to be talking about early election numbers that we might get from certain places, and we just want to encourage you to come out. So make WKRA and James Mack Man Morning Show on the Mack Man Morning Show channel on YouTube. And all of our subscribers, I want to thank you all. We need 10 more to get to 300. And I just like those types of things. And if we got 10 people out there that just have not liked or subscribed to us yet, we ask that you do so. We love to have you. We're here each and every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. We're here. And like I said, it's an interesting thing how we all have lives. Brother Lee, your camera's on. I think I got your camera. I see your head and your wonderful carpet that you have, whatever that is. Okay, no, I'm just messing with you. I said what I said. You threw that curve. I got to talk about you about this. We want to know, listen, y'all, there's life after the elections. We know that there are, and we're going to be talking about and keeping the Mack Man Morning Show abreast on all things that are going on. We're going to keep our eyes on the administration, but we're going to take one step at a time, and we're going to go through this historic event that we're getting ready to go through. Like I said, the Mack Man Morning Show will be on at starting at 8 o'clock on tomorrow. And we're getting ready to wind our day down here. We got a lot of work ahead of us. Our correspondents will be together. I'd like to thank Brother Lee. I'd like to thank I Said What I Said. Each and every day bringing their A game to the Mack Man Morning Show, to our executive producer, Dr. J, who's sitting in his lawn chair. He's doing wonderful. He's going to be working along with us, along with Ryan, our social media editor, who's going to be monitoring all of our social media and events that are going on around our country. We got a big show tomorrow, but it's going to be so big that it's going to be easy to do. We want to bring you the very best. I'm James Mack. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. I will be back early tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Meet me at 8 o'clock here on the Mack Man Morning Show.
It's the Mack Man Morning Show. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. Sitting at home or you're in your car. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. No matter if you get far. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. You better tune in quick or you might just miss. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. The best show this side of the sea. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. It's the Mack Man Morning Show. It's the Mack Man Morning Show.